Robyn. I'm head chef and cafe lead here at Cafe Social in Midnight. I've been working with young people now for 9 months and really enjoying teaching them new skills every day, from cooking to knife skills and everything in between. I've been a chef for 30 years. I've travelled all around the world working on super yachts, working in amazing places and restaurants. I've worked for rock stars and royalties all the way down to toddlers and tiaras, and I've enjoyed every single bit of it. One of the most important tricks I can teach you about being a chef is your organisational skills. Always be prepared. We always have a scraping bowl, a bowl that our fruit, veggies or meat's going to go in, your fresh produce, which is always labelled and dated. I purchased this yesterday, so it's shelling, it's chicken, and it was purchased yesterday. It's still nice and cold out of the fridge. I've got my nice sharp knife. I've always got a clean chucks and a tea towel. So today we're going to start with the onion. So, we're going to take off both the ends of the onion, always being mindful of where your fingers are. Trying to keep your fingers as far away from that blade as what you can. I've got my scraping bowl, always keeping things neat and tidy. So I've taken off both ends, now I'm going to cut it down the middle. I've got 2 halves of an onion. I'm going to ever so take off the shell of the onion, peel her straight off, into my bin. Once again, always keeping your areas neat and tidy, no chaos. So, I have 2 halves of an onion. For safety reasons, it's always good to have a flat surface, so you've always got something to work with. You've got your nice clean knife. So what we're going to do here, we're going to start about 1/4 of an inch in, or about 4 centimetres in. We're going to cut not all the way through, 95% of the way through. So I'm going to do about 3 cuts that way. 1, 2, 3. So that's give me slicing going inwards. I'm now going to turn my onion on the side, and I'm going to cut it horizontal. So I'm going to, once again, the same size, about 4 centimetres apart, I'm going to cut it that way. So, as you've seen, I've cut it 3 ways this way, and this way. I'm now going to get my knife, and I'm going to, holding my fingers as far away from my knife as what I can, I'm going to slice, and slice, and slice. So what I have now is a perfect 5 by 5 centimetre piece of onion. So, this is my bowl. I'm going to scrape my onion into my bowl. And then I'll go on to my carrot. I've got my peeler ready. I'm just going to move you out of the way. When peeling a carrot, you always want to hold the thick part of the carrot towards your hands. You've got more manoeuvrability then. You can control the carrot. As you peel the carrot. We will discard the bottom of it and so once again, your carrot's on a roll. So we don't want any chances for any cuts or anything like that. So we want to take it to a flat surface. So I'm going to cut the carrot directly down the middle. And once again, I've got a flat surface to work with. It doesn't matter if you're working with a pumpkin, a zucchini, a celery, whatever it is, you always want that flat surface so there's no harm. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to halve my carrot again. Halve it again. Now, depending on how we want to go. So today I'm going to do a basic stop. So all I want is the same size pieces as what I had of my onion. Today's going to be making it just a basic stop. So, in 5 by 5s, just like this. And once again, it's going to go into my bowl with my onions, ready for my pot. So I've got my onion and my celery, and my carrot, sorry. Now I'm going to go on to my celery. So I'm going to top and tail it. It has been washed. I'm going to take off the bottom. I'm going to take off the top. So with celery, you can see once again it's quite angular. All I'm going to do here is slice it down the middle. Give me 2 pieces. And once again, I'm going to go by my 5 by 5. So it's quite a basic, easy skill. What we're trying to do is keeping your fingers far away, tucking your fingers under as much as you want, because the last thing you want is to cut yourself. So here we have onion and the carrot. I'm now adding my celery. So that's my basic mix for anything to do. I could be making a soup today, a stew, a casserole, anything like that. So, now we're going to talk about chicken. Nice, fresh, plump, healthy looking chicken that I bought yesterday from the butcher's. I brought it home, I've taken it out of its packaging, I've placed it in a metal bowl, I've labelled it and dated it, which is most important. When purchasing chicken, you always want to look for a nice pale pink coloured chicken, and that smells nice and fresh. When you buy chicken, it has all these white bits, which could be ligaments, sinews, things like that. We don't want to eat those, they're not very nice. So we're going to use our knife ever so gently, and we're just going to cut them off. We're going to go all the way around the chicken, and anywhere we see these bits, we're just going to gently cut them off. There could be little bits of cartilage, you could feel a little bit of bone in there sometimes. That especially we want to get out, because we don't want any chokings. All the way around this beautiful piece of chicken. So here's your breast, you can see now. It's been cleaned up. And what we're going to do today, we're going to prepare it for a chicken stir fry. So, once again, be mindful of where your hand sits and your knife's nice and sharp. We're going to cut into strips. I always like to go about 5 centimetres. And I'm going to cut the chicken like this. All the way through, same size all the way along. Today I'm only cooking for one person, so I'm just going to cut up half the breast. So once I've got them in there, I'm going to cut them ever so calmly again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So here I have now a nice size, dice size piece of chicken. And if you remember the pieces of my onion and my carrot, we're all about basically the same size, because they're all going to go in a stir fry today. So we want it to all look relatively the same. So here's our piece of chicken. This piece that's left, I'm now going to put it into a sealed bag. I'm going to label it and date it, and I'm going to keep that for next week.
Thank you so much, Robyn, for coming in and for showing us those great skills. It's so handy and so needed to know. Just the basic organisation skills as well. I'm never this organised at home, but after watching this, I'm going to try to be. Thank you so much. And going through the little knife skills, making sure those little tips and tricks about our produce and the chicken. I didn't know all those little facts that you had, so that was really beneficial for even me. Thank you so much.
I'm glad you enjoyed it, and I hope it's beneficial to everybody out there. Just some basic tips that will go a long way.
Yeah, they will. Thank you. We got amazing tips from a chef. Thank you so much, Robyn.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.